The urban legend and New York history are saturated with tales that originated the projects of housing, and for the U.S. to respond to the slums and the economic problems the country was experiencing during the Great Depression. Housing projects were a considerable next step to take. So, in today's video, we have 5 failed housing projects in New York, both in the past and in the present. Now, in no particular order for greatness, let's take a ride. Number 1, the King Towers. This facility, which was finished in 1954, is named in honor of Martin Luther King Jr., a supporter of the civil rights struggle. The 1,300 flats that make up the King Towers are dispersed throughout 13 and 14-story buildings. Additionally, the site has community, senior, and daycare centers. Even a name as respectable as a king couldn't protect those who live here from the terrible circumstances they're compelled to endure. According to a New York Daily News article from April 2017, the majority of the apartments lacked adequate plumbing and had significant electrical issues. The NYCHA sent employees to start making repairs in December 2016. However, dwindling financing meant that the projects were never finished. While the management works to find a solution, some tenants are made to wash their dishes in the bathtub. Number 2, the Queensbridge Houses, Queens, New York. Over the years, Queensbridge has become such a mess you could take a walking tour similar to one of those tours to past battlegrounds. The Queensbridge complex is the subject of public walking tours led by a group called Jane's Walk. The 2-hour excursions cover the violent past of the project, as well as former residents who were NBA players and rappers. With more than 3,000 units and fewer than 7,000 occupants, Queensbridge is the largest government housing project in the nation and is situated in Long Island City. It is still open right now. The Dream Squad, a group that was making $10,000 per week in pharmaceutical sales, was caught in the Queensbridge complex in 2005. A tutoring session was held in March 2015 in a public elementary school where the majority of the pupils reside in Queensbridge. So they decided to organize a fight club where they could gamble and watch as first graders battled it out. Number 3, the Houses of Lillienwald. This was one of the earliest structures constructed in the years following World War II between Avenue D and Houston Street. There are 16.5 acres occupied by walled homes. 16 buildings on the property house 1,847 apartments for renters. All residents have access to a theater, several community centers, and counseling services. With such foundations, it wouldn't be strange to consider this area to be calm and developed. Instead, the residents of the walled houses still have to contend with crime, drugs, poor amenities, and all the other problems plaguing this other low-income housing in New York City. A 27-year-old Latino lady was discovered dead in her apartment in January 2017 with a scarf securely wrapped around her neck. Most likely strangling was the cause of her death. However, a lack of adequate surveillance made it difficult for members of the neighborhood police precinct to confirm the occurrences. Number 4, Brooklyn's Marcy House. Jay-Z is the most well-known former inhabitant of Marcy Houses, so if you ever want to learn about it, just listen to his music. He began his career here, where he also grew up. He has essentially covered both the drug trade and the violence in the area. Marcy House, or Marcy Projects, are located primarily in Brooklyn's Bed-Stuy area. More than 2,000 people live there in its 1,700 units. The overcrowded, unsafe, and deadly Marcy Houses is a well-known place in New York. Some terrible people and some scary things are going on there that you should probably avoid. Even though great people live there, there isn't any good news to report about this place. Number 5, the Tompkins Houses. The New York City Housing Authority was forced to release a statement in May 2016 due to the deplorable conditions at the Tompkins Houses in Bradford, Stuyvesant. The government agency apologized in the statement sent to every tenant for the poor maintenance and its inability to provide standardized living conditions. Despite some local claims to the contrary, violence on the streets is still common in the neighborhood, even though rundown buildings don't appear to be the main issue. Residents saw the violent killing of 2 police officers in 2014 just a few feet from the entrance. One Ishmael Brinkley approached the patrol car, parked it, and then opened fire with his weapon at close range. Within seconds, both officers passed away. Later, the murderer, who escaped on foot, committed suicide with the same weapon. What is your thought on this New York failed housing project? Leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching.